Cold open question of the week, Kaz.
What up, Shoes?
Good to have you back, man. Now, as you might have heard, I know you heard, we texted about it. Your old friend, the Road Dogg Jesse James, is no longer on the creative team at WWE. It was, I think the news broke that he was, it didn't say that he was fired. The assumption, I think, when the news broke was that he was fired. Then the news came out that he kind of saw the writing on the wall. His power was diminishing. He decided to walk away of his own accord. We don't know all the details there. Maybe you do. I know you guys have a deep history. I know that he called you out for stinking up the arena at one point.
You got to give that proper context, Dave. That could mean a lot of things.
Well, I think this is pretty well known. I was just kind of joking, but what was it? The Raw for WrestleMania? When was it? It was a big Raw.
It was the Raw. I think it was the anniversary Raw.
Oh, the anniversary
show, DX.
Yeah.
The DX anniversary show. When he came to the ring. You were in the front row. I was not. You were in the front row with some hooligans. Who were you with? Were you with Wale and company, or who were you with?
I think so. I was with my boy Jeremy. I think I was with. I don't think I was with Wale, but I was there pretty deep. I think I was like 4 or 5 people deep.
Yeah, it was a big crew. I remember. But anyway, he got to the ring, and somebody said something stinks in here, and Road Dogg said, "Oh, that's Kaz," and everybody.
You know
and everybody
I felt
at home
about that because it is Brooklyn, and if you've been to Barclays Center, and Cam has said this on the Is What It Is podcast, it is basically just like a back alley where basketball is played, right? Like sometimes you go backstage, they're shooting dice, they got like bottles of Douce on the floor. So with the pungent smell of marijuana, it's not normal.
So that's what they were referring to, but they just said something smells funny in here, and then when he said
that,
that's
I was
Kaz,
right there.
But everybody at home thought he said that's ass, be like somebody farted in the ring. But in fact, he said that's Kaz. The people that got it were like, "Whoa, that's a direct shot." But I think he just saw you in the front row, may or may not have seen a cloud wafting up or in your vicinity, and blamed it all on you.
I was off duty, man, so I was coming to enjoy the wrestling that night. And
so you're not denying that it was that it might have been you, but it couldn't have entirely been you.
No, I'm not taking all that credit. There's a lot of Brooklyn nights in there.
So listen, here's my question. It's only Road Dogg adjacent. If they were determined to replace Road Dogg as head writer of SmackDown with another star from the Attitude Era that was not, I mean, I want to say that hasn't been previously employed as a writer, but I don't even remember. So many dudes have had like agent jobs or whatever. So let's just say if you had to replace him with a maybe surprising other star from the Attitude Era, who do you got?
Now, you did a great job of sending me this roster sheet of Attitude Era stars, and you'd be shocked about how many people...
SmackDownHotel.com, by the way.
Thank you, SmackDownHotel.com. But as I'm going to go and not pick anybody who has already served on creative. So no Heyman, no Stephanie, no Pritchard or any of these guys. And the name that stands out to me right here, only because your differences may vary on if they're Attitude Era or not. The easiest answer here is Bret the Hitman Hart. Are you kidding me? Can you imagine Bret the Hitman Hart on creative talking about like, oh, guy stinks, can't wrestle as well.
Okay, it would be good TV. It would be a good episode of the Netflix show.
I'm saying, like, yo, if you want 5 more seasons of Unreal, and every wrestler you talk to is like, not really crazy about the show. I hate that they show how the sausage is made. Still need to, keep a little bit of that magic away from the public. All you need to do is hire Bret Hart to be part of the creative team and have him and Triple H just sit in that war room and turn the cameras on. And I'm watching.
That's the new show. Forget the wrestling. We just show the video.
You don't even need nothing else. You don't even need to show me how it turns out. You don't need to interview nobody before or after no matches. Show me Bret and Triple H having conversations on what they think wrestling should be in 2026. And Netflix, you got yourself a hit show. All right, I'll watch it. So that would be my pick. Easy one. Bret the Hitman Hart.
Dang, I don't even know who I would pick. Given all these options, given that a lot of these people have passed away, and I'm not exactly, and I don't want to accidentally undead somebody.
You don't want to dead name someone?
Yeah. I'm trying to think who I would pick. I mean, I'd probably just go comedy, right? Like, can we get Kurgan in there as the head writer?
Kurgan.
Is Steve Lombardi still with us, Brian Waters?
Hold up. Didn't Kurgan have like a semi-successul like Hollywood career afterwards?
I mean, I think he was in some stuff as like a giant, but I'm not saying I don't think he would turn the job down.
His name is Robert Mallier, and it comes up as Canadian actor and retired professional wrestler. Do you want to know where Kurgan was in?
Yeah. I think he was in that.
Kurgan was in 300.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. Wasn't he in the Sherlock Holmes movie that RDJ did? Yeah.
Yeah. He's in Percy Jackson's Sea of Monsters. He's in Haven with another Attitude Era star, Adam Copeland, a.k.a. Edge. He had a small part in Deadpool 2. Yeah, Kurgan, Game Over, man. I like that one. That's a sneaky good, Netflix Prime Video watch. Shout out to Kurgan, man. Outside of like Batista, The Rock, and John Cena, he might have the most prolific film career out of everybody in here, low key. So shout out to him.
The Brooklyn Brawler is still with us.
Yeah, man. How great would that be? Just plucked back from anonymity and given the pencil. Just he's in charge now. That'd be great. And he still has to, he wears a suit and everything because and by the way, I want this to be the Brooklyn Brawler, not Steve Lombardi.
Right.
Yes. So he has to wear a suit because he's like got an important job now, but the suit still has like pit holes in it and like
still
it's just
tattered.
Like it's totally tattered. Have a cigar hanging out of his mouth, just like the 5 o'clock shadow is still there, grease weirdly smeared on everything.
I don't know if I could take take the New York stereotype in 2026 about like it being a greasy Italian and with standard shirts.
Those dudes are still, I don't know, the greasy part was always sort of fake. There's still a huge, dude, I used to live in Carroll Gardens. It's still like 50% old Italians who are just trying to decide whether or not they should sell their brownstones yet, right? I mean, all these, we used to talk to these guys that there was this one dude half a block from me who used to sunbathe in his front yard. And by front yard, I mean that 5x4 patch of that's right in front of the house. This was a townhouse, not a brownstone. But he bought that place.
To make it more accurate for the modern times, he'd probably have to be the Staten Island Brawler, right?
Yeah. Those dudes are still, but there are some of those dudes around. I guess he could still be the Brooklyn Brawler, but we could make him a hipster now. We could make him he's like the art director, the creative director at some AI firm or something like that. That could be
right. He'd have a quarter zip on with
with the company logo. Okay, we got to work this out. We're bringing Steve Lombardi back as a wrestler,
as the Williamsburg Brawler.
Yeah,
the Dumbo Brawler.
Why do we say instead of brawler? It's not the Brooklyn Baller. What is the word for the high roller now in Brooklyn? You're not the high roller. What's your average Brooklyn 50-year-old now?
He's the Dumbo transplant. That's who he is.
All right. Repackaging.
His rich parents from Kansas pays for his entire setup.
Repackaging stars of yore for the modern day. A huge segment coming in the future on the Masked Man Show. But for now, we got a big pay-per-view to talk about. Let's start the show. Welcome to the Masked Man Show with Kaz. We got a very special, very brief, 6 minutes long interview with MJF coming up later in the show. Thank you to repeat.
Busy guy, MJF.
Well, Ben was paying $1,000 an hour for that, I think. So we could only send him. We could only go so long. But first, before that, and before our AEW Revolution preview, Kaz, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Shoes. How about yourself, my man?
I'm doing pretty good.
Friday, still here, Hot 97. Morning show was great. I'm ready to talk some graps.
You're totally on camera on the morning show, right?
Yeah.
We're about to be a video podcast here, as some of you have been begging or demanding for a while. I just wanted to know because it's I don't know, man. I mean, I'm ready to be on video here. I don't know if I'd be ready to be on video for a 3-hour morning show.
Telling you,
you ever catch yourself picking your nose and you're just like, oh fuck,
Listen, first week and a half, it took me some getting used to. I'm used to doing a lot of on-camera stuff, especially with 7 p.m. in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But, morning show's a different beast. You roll out of bed, and you just kind of like, you don't really realize what you look like in the morning until like you see it. And then like I started seeing myself, I'm like, oh, okay, like I need to not look like I'm like going to the gym in the morning. I have to actually dress for the day at like 4 a.m. and shower and get the eye boogers out my eyes. And, if I got a good hat on, like, if you haven't noticed, my hat collection has really stepped it up a notch because I don't have time to be at the barber once a week anymore. Like my barber time is either the beginning of the week or the end of the week. And if my lineup isn't fresh, guess what, buddy? You're getting a snapback, and that's where I'm in right now. So,
probably a lot of nice like swag around the office, though. You don't need it. You don't need to be paying for these hats, right?
I haven't paid for a hat since the Obama administration, son. They just send me hats now. They're like, it's free promotion for you. It's hairline protection for me. Everybody wins. So send me your hats.
When you get cake, they can't wait to give you that shit. That's from Little Brother. It's the way the world works. No, I apparently don't have enough cake yet, so they're not even sending me free beanies. I'm like the beanie billboard of the world over here.
That's a fact.
Anyway, what do you want to talk about today? I know we got a big AEW Revolution preview. We're going to do our picks. Is there any news that comes ahead of that? Since we did the show, we did a mailbag. Brandon did a mailbag earlier in the week. But it was basically one question from the from the mailbag pool that ended up lasting like 30 or 40 minutes of just build your own wrestler. It was a lot of fun though. That's now my new fallback. Every time that we're short on content, we're just going to go pretend that question is new and answer it again.
Okay.
What happened?
We can
Ricky
talk about
Sosa?
My current favorite wrestler right now. There
Ricky
we go.
Sosa?
Yeah.
Can I ask you my fallback cooled up in question of the week because it relates?
What's up?
If you had the power to steal Ricky Sosa's entrance and give it to another wrestler, who would you give it to?
It's the one thing missing from the Javon Evans package.
Yeah.
It's the one thing missing. Like, once he came out with Offset the other day, I was like, Offset, do not let him leave until you get him some entrance music. Because, he's awesome. Everything about him is awesome. But, the generic sort of, Mike Will Made It knockoff beat that they use for Javon Evans' entrance is like, it's good, but it's like we're in a post-Yeet world where your entrance may be everything. Now, granted, last night, Ricky Sosa makes his TV debut on TNA Impact, and he was on Explosion last week. And I say, I stayed up all night last weekend waiting to see Ricky Sosa on TV, and you didn't televise him. You put him on the pre-show. You put him on the dark match. That was insane. Shout out my guy Matt Rainwalt. You may know him better as Aiden English from back in the day.
Yeah.
His commentary for TNA. He was like, "Oh, don't worry. He's going to be on." And then the very next week he's on. He gets the live big crowd and everybody knows the goddamn assignment when he comes out.
That was crazy.
He is.
Shout out to the TNA fans. I mean, I guess that's a reason why you don't you don't let these things be surprises, right? You leak it out. Everybody listens to the theme song a few times ahead of time.
Yeah.
And
I get the feeling that there's still that little bit of the vibe between the viral internet wrestling audience and the real world audience. And they were kind of you know what? Let's test this out in Explosion and see if it does well. And I think when they saw that it went there and they put them on first and the crowd, even though the house was not even full yet, still turned that thing up crazy. I would have just put him on live TV last week. I'd have been let that be the debut. It's sometimes you got to go with your gut. If I'm in there, I'm like, listen, man, the moment this kid comes out, they're going to go nuts. They already know his song. They already know his entrance.
They do.
And, it's going to make for great B-roll footage for any sort of Impact video you want to put out. So, and here's the kicker. Guy can wrestle his ass off too, which I think a lot of people were holding reservations about for him. I think people were just like, "Oh man, he's just an entrance. People just like the song." It's like, no. He can wrestle. He can go. He's got a big frame on him. He's been co-signed by a lot of guys, co-signed by Mark Henry, co-signed by a lot of dudes who've done this for a long time. He's 21 years old, bro. Like, the amount of talent, the amount of young black talent in pro wrestling right now is almost an embarrassment of riches at every level, from the guys who open the show to the mid-carders to the main event to folks that are getting popping online and overseas. Like, they're everywhere and they're young, and it's the energy that wrestling needs. I might have quote tweeted that original Ricky Sosa entrance so many times, and you'd be hard pressed to find how many times somebody'd be like, I don't watch wrestling a lot, but that looks popping. That looks dope. Is that Chief Keef? I'm like, no, it's not Chief Keef. It's some other guys. But, entrance makes a world of difference. So if I could, I'd take that energy that they built for Ricky Sosa, put that to Javon Evans, and he's already out of here, but he'd be like 10 times more out of here.
Dude, I mean, listen, he's in TNA now. He might be Javon Evans' best friend in a couple weeks, they might just bring him back over too. Is that the song you would pick for yourself of all the available theme songs now, Brian?
Oh no, my theme song is and will always be "Return of the Mac" by Mark Morrison.
No, but of current theme songs, did somebody use "Return of the Mac"?
Has someone done?
I mean, it would be Willie Mack or Rodney Mack. Pretty sure Rodney Mack did not. No, but of all the existing wrestling theme songs, what's your walk?
Is that the best one?
Yeah.
I mean, golly, Trick Williams got a hell of a theme song.
Well, he's got a hell of a
my
chant.
ringtone.
That's your ringtone now, Brian?
Yeah, because I don't have my Apple Watch, so I keep my ringer on in the house. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does it have the chant? I mean, the lyrics along with it?
No, it's just the music because I like the the horns and stuff.
Okay.
And I'm assuming
I'm assuming we're not picking the obvious ones, right? Like, we can't. The Cult of Personality is a great song regardless of entrance, right? Like, that's just whatever. I'm talking about songs that were made for the wrestler, like for the entrance. I think the best entrance song they've made in a long time is not the current version of Roman Reigns' entrance, the original,
the Shields,
the OG Bloodline version of Head of the Table.
Oh, okay.
Is
1,000%
peak. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why they changed that. I guess because he went semi-babyface. They're like, all right, it can't sound like Darth Vader's coming out. But it's
back to WrestleMania LA. And when you brought the Bloodline out and just watching how they just rocket to it, just that subtle, like, it was perfect.
Yes. I like, who else is entrance music? Who else got some really good entrance music, man? I mean, I love Io Skies. Io Skies got a great instrumental. You know what I mean? I love Andrade's entrance music in AEW.
Yes,
so
it's very good.
The freaking horns, I'm like, God damn, I feel like a fucking bullfighter is about to come out. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Lots of good ones out there. You could find some. But yeah, I got to give it to Trick right now. Trick's entrance music and Ricky Sosa, undeniable. Like, it's good when you throw it on a Spotify every now and then. You're like, what? I'll give this a little spin or two.
Well, I mean, it sounds like a real song.
I play it just enough so it doesn't end up in my Spotify Wrapped. That's embarrassing. You don't want.
Why is that embarrassing?
You don't want. Listen, guys. Anybody within earshot, you do not want wrestling themes in your Spotify Wrapped, bro.
There's a lot of people listening to this going, tell us you don't go to the gym without telling us you don't go to the gym, because every good wrestling fan is cranking all these songs as their workout music.
I have hit some personal reps to Kingdom by you know what I mean, downstate many times. You know what I mean? I get it. But you can only do it for so much. If you're running it back, you have to play the song an ungodly amount of times for it to hit your Spotify Wrapped. And you don't realize how embarrassing it is until you get to that cold day in December and you're looking at your phone. And you're like, I played Stone Cold Steve Austin's music this many times.
Yeah, exactly.
Year, so this is bad.
What is the one? What is
you need real music in your rap?
Of all the theme songs that you would just like search and push play just to get a taste of the feeling. Like I was talking about Hulk Hogan's theme song is it's just like, say what you want about Hulk Hogan, but all of us that grew up in that era, it's like that the first few chords of Real American like do a thing to your insides, right? You're just like, but what's the
same thing with Voodoo Child, yo?
Yeah,
same thing with
no
Voodoo
hate on
Child.
Voodoo Child. We talked about that some earlier this week. Brian wondered if I think the question was who had the biggest theme song drop off. And Brian said, is it Hulk Hogan after Real American? But I thought he meant Voodoo Child. He meant when they went to the fake Real American in the early WCW run.
American made.
He's American made.
But
Jimmy Hart tried his damnedest
Real American,
to make it
Voodoo
fire.
Child. What would be the song? We got to talk about real stuff. But what of all of the classic theme songs?
The biggest drop off in theme songs?
No. Different question now. What's the song that you think you search out more just because you're like for no particular reason? Like, oh, I just want to. It's like I just need to hear "Break the Walls Down." I just the first few seconds of it. You know, what is the song that you think you would like randomly look for the most?
The NWO Wolfpack theme song.
Oh. Was that one?
Yeah. I remember during the NBA playoffs, I think the Timberwolves were playing.
Yep.
And like Anthony Edwards, I caught a poster and they played that and I lost my mind. I was like, somebody back there is on their job playing that Wolfpack theme song. So that's a, you know, again, an objectively good song. Like it sounds like something that, you know what I mean? Like Mac 10 or Corrupt would rap over back in the 90s.
That's, back in the day, Kevin Nash used to name check Mac 10 all the time. Like that was that's where like, because whenever there'd be some dispute over the authorship of Too Sweet or of like whatever, he would always be like, dude, I know Hulk Hogan wasn't listening to Mac 10 in the locker room. That was us, like whatever.
That's a fact.
I wonder
I
how
know we
good
got to shoot Kevin Nash some bail after that Javon Evans thing. He's been true to this for a long time, guys. People make mistakes. He's all right. He's an all right guy.
Yeah. Oh, Kevin Nash is really great.
Kevin Nash is the man.
Shoot him some bail. I've not heard that. I appreciate that very much. All right. I hope I'm never in need of bail, but I probably will by this afternoon. What else? Is there any other news before we jump right into the AEW craziness? We were post Raw when we did our last show, right, Brian?
Yes.
So I guess we could talk about
NXT Madness.
This build has been
the I know what I wanted to ask you. There was
you know what we could talk about?
Oh, tell me
the letter grades. The letter grades for the pay-per-views.
So there's a story that
our good friend.
There's a story that we'll mention our good friend Andreas Hale, but there's a story that ESPN, if you recall, the first ESPN article that like reviewed a pay-per-view, Andreas Hale wrote it, and he gave letter grades all the matches, and this was for WrestlePalooza, the first big show on ESPN, and he rightfully kind of savaged it. He didn't savage it. That's the wrong way of putting it. He was very clear-eyed about the whole thing. You know, if you want to, the only argument you could possibly make against the piece that Andreas wrote is that he maybe should have been grading on a curve. Like it could have been exactly the same piece, but like it could have been a B- instead of a C, and everything else is adjusted upward or something. But like, I don't think that's right. I'm just saying like that's the only logical argument you could make. But anyway, it caught a lot of heat. There were, of course, a lot of people that were like, I can't believe WWE's partner is doing this. But and at the same time, people are just like, what do you expect him to do? Like lie? Like, would he be more happy if this journalist lied about his opinion? Anyway, the story came out this week that they quietly dropped the letter grades on their reviews, which I guess is one way to split the baby. Did it come out did it end up that that's true? I felt like there was some pushback against like when they did it.
Whatever the story is, I'm here to confirm that story to you that yes, it is true. I think the only thing the pushback that came with was whose decision it was, whether it was ESPN's decision or WWE's decision. I'm here to confirm to you it was indeed WWE's decision to ex-nay those letter grades.
Well, decision. I don't know they have the power to adjust the page build or like to work in the edits or anything. But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any great conspiracy here. I think if you're Nick Khan and you see a C come across the the ticker, if someone's like, this is the grades ESPN's giving you, it doesn't have to go deep. I bet Nick Khan called him directly. Just called his called Jimmy Pitaro or whoever his top contact is at ESPN and was just like, dude, could we just not be giving letter grades that make us look like assholes? You know? And they're just like, yeah, we can do that. And that's it. That's the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, I could. That seems like the more plausible scenario that took place. I mean, like you said earlier, Andreas Hale, who was, one of the guys who was the guy who was giving out the, letter grades, and a good friend of ours, and an extremely talented and accomplished journalist in the
and a real one too. Like, he's been a wrestling fan since forever. He's been on the Masked Man show. He's a real he's not like a Johnny come lately or anything.
Yeah, and on top of that, it kind of makes it look even crazier because it's like, well, the ESPN's in business with like the NFL and the NBA and all this stuff, and there's tons of articles throughout ESPN that criticizes the NFL and the NBA and all that type of stuff.
There's a distinction here.
Yeah,
yes,
big distinction.
Those are real sports. When you give the Seattle Seahawks a C+ for their offseason signings, you're not criticizing anything that the NFL has control over. If you had Bill Barnwell out there giving letter grades for the suits that Roger Goodell wore, or interviews that he gave, they would rightly complain about it, probably. I mean, and again, they're more of an institution, and there's a lot of things they would push back against, but they also probably have more of a vested interest in the perception of press neutrality than WWE does at this point. Maybe it'll be different in 10 years. We'll see. Although they've always been pretty straight with us. I mean, when we were in business with them doing the podcasts, I don't even think it was them. Somebody pitched that if we were going to be in business with them, we wouldn't cover AEW. And I just said, no, we have to cover AEW or no one's going to, it's going to be a shit podcast.
Right.
It won't be a wrestling.
That didn't stop people from believing we were super bought and believing that
no, and we don't cover this is an AEW preview show and we're 20 minutes in not talking about AEW, so there you get what you get.
There's your evidence.
But I just said no, and they were just like, okay, then whatever. I mean, I remember not writing pieces when I was working on the book of wrestling with them. They had some tacit approval, but there's a lot of shit I was just like, nope. And they were like, okay, fine. We're not going to push anymore. Whatever.
But also this is definitely, this is not apples to apples. You know what I mean?
No,
podcast business and the first premium live event on the network with a brand new live event that they just created. I can understand there's a little bit more to lose there.
This is the real way
talking shit about who's on what show.
This is the real way that the stuff we were doing, and the stuff the way that the WWE is different than the NFL. When you give WWE a C, you're giving a C to the very soul of the product. I mean, it would be basically like saying, I don't even know what the NFL equivalent would be.
There is none, because the product is already sold before the game. Before the foot is kicked, before kickoff even takes place, the product's already sold. The game could end 3-0, and it wouldn't make a damn difference to the NFL. They'll still be fine.
Well, there's still a story coming out of it.
Show.
Yeah,
it's a show. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it is an entertainment product. The E in the ESPN stands for entertainment. So, yeah, a C grade in a football game with real stakes, and a C grade on something that's supposed to be presented as a show. It's like again, probably a false equivalence, but it's almost closer to giving a 30 for 30 a D+. You know what I mean? It's yeah, we're gonna give the U 2 thumbs down. That doesn't.
If ESPN had a weekly column that was ranking the NBA pregame shows. Or whatever, they were just
First Take was ass this week,
yeah,
and here's
exactly.
why. You know what I mean? I get it, but it still makes WWE look a little nuts. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where, and knowing Andreas as long as I've had, and knowing the type of content that he's wanted to produce for pro wrestling, and just us as fans in general, I think we've always tried to skew our wrestling coverage to lean more to the sports side of it than the entertainment side of it. I think the entertainment side of it kind of goes without saying. But if you're given a grade out, like how do you grade a Danhausen preview, a Danhausen debut in the same way you grade a match between Stephanie Valkyrie and Liv Morgan, right? Like it's two different things. But at the same time, knowing Andreas, it's like, yeah, like you want to cover it like a sport. You want to treat WWE like a sport, so it's more respected and it's more, it's taken more seriously as, yes, this is entertainment, but this is something that, athletes should be able to respect in the same vein as any, sporting competition that we broadcast on this show. And when you do something like pull that, it's not like a death knell. It's not like the biggest sin, but it's definitely one of those things that make people look like just another thing in the WWE pile that makes them look crazy. That makes them look like
it looks terrible. And WWE is sitting there saying, I don't care. Because the number of people that will know about this and care about it, even fewer, pale in comparison to the number of people who they imagine are reading a ESPN review and deciding whether or not to tune in or watch the replay or tune in again, right? Yeah, I mean, listen, the good letter grades are a fucking tough rubric. I mean, I've written so many pieces and tried to figure out rubrics for wrestling. It's tough. That's why people do best and worst columns. They do all kinds of different stuff. It's always tough to figure out.
I'm just not a big fan of trying to delegitimize a guy like Andreas, who was like one of the best. You know what I mean? Like he's one of the best in the business. You know what I mean? And if this was happening with any other form of entertainment, any other genre of entertainment where you're silencing one of your biggest voices, like if the New York Times was like, we're not having like John Carmonica like talk about like albums anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, totally.
It's gonna take away from the product, especially if you find out that it's the people who aren't even technically paying his paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
absolutely him and Greg Wyshynski, who's been on this show before too, they both had other full-time jobs at ESPN before the WWE deal, right? They were both fully like they had plenty of stuff on their plate. And then when they signed up with WWE, I think they sought them both out. The ESPN management team was just like, do we have anybody here that likes wrestling? Oh yeah, look at them. Like we know they're big fans. They sought them out. They put them on the beat. I mean, listen, it should go without saying that Andreas is a legitimate journalist and an incredible writer and all that kind of stuff. And maybe. I mean, whatever. If you think it's a bad idea to have given those letter grades, that's not on him. That's on his editor. And that's not even a problem there either. It's just like, you got to figure out the structure a little bit better. If you're turning your first thing in, it's not even about kissing up to WWE. It's about like, what do people want to read? What are people looking for here? Like, how can we make this the most inviting? And
hey, we're burying the lead here in the same media speak that we're talking. It was an accurate review.
That's the
show
biggest
wasn't
thing.
That good.
Yeah, what do you think that it should have said? What was your...
Yeah. Like, did you think it was a B+ to an A+ show? Like, nobody even references WrestlePalooza anymore. The last WrestlePalooza reference I've seen was when I threw on WWE 2K26. I was like, oh, WrestlePalooza's in the game. That's a thing that happened this year.
I mean, and that was... Listen, we said it at the time. That's WWE's fault. They wanted to make sure the rating, that they got as many people watching as possible, that they didn't do the one basic honest thing they should have done, which is to say, this is not one of our top 3 your annual pay-per-views. This is going to be, this is an in your house with a different
It's a showcase. Yeah. It's a glorified house show.
And so they set expectations unreasonably high. And I think everybody's reaction was like, man, what the fuck was that?
Well, you want to set them high. Like, it's your ESPN debut. You want to gas it up to get as many people who watch as possible. But at the same time, you also don't want to give too much away and you treat it like an in your house.
You do want to gas it up as much as possible, but not if your plan is to not put on a good show. I mean, the answer to all of this, separate from anything having to do with Andreas, anything having to do with ESPN, even anything having to do with the journalistic integrity of changing the format of the reviews pieces, the solution is just to put on a better show.
Yeah.
And that's why, and listen, that's why we had to fire. That's why we had to fire Road Dogg, man. It was his fault.
You mean he's the only guy? You know what? Not too much on Road Dogg either. All right, like Road Dogg gets a lot of shit online.
Oh, I'm joking.
You know what I mean?
Obviously, I'm just saying that. Like,
I know you're joking.
That's a perfect.
I know you're joking.
That's a perfect thing for like. You should have one of your like homies just quit or get fired every 9 months or so that you can just be like, there was a problem. We've removed that problem, you know, and then you get another year of smooth sailing.
It's not too much on Road Dogg though, man. Like, clearly, I mean, shout out to Alex. Alex was promoted to head writer over on Monday Night Raw.
Alex Riley?
And no, Alex, I forgot her last name, but super cool chick.
Oh, yeah.
She's been on the right team for a long time.
I just think
Williamson, I think her last name is.
What?
I think Williamson's her last name, I want to say. I might be butchering that. But like, I think Road Dogg gets a lot of crap, especially since Unreal, especially since Williams, my fault. But, you know, the problems with WWE Creative and its build don't start and stop with one guy. Let's put it that way. All right. Like, I think people thought, you know, almost felt like a setup low key. Like, if I'm watching Unreal and then, you know, I'm somebody who gets like maybe a demotion sort of thing and you're taking stock of what people are saying about you online, that you could paint a pretty vivid picture that like the reason why certain things aren't as good as they should be is because of this dude. And you know, I don't think that's all the way fair all the time, but you know, I don't think it was that bad.
You can never blame one person unless it's unless you find out that it's like Triple H making solo decisions, which he's not prone to do, but like he's the only one with the power to make things that good or that bad on his own. So anyway.
And that's why we do what we do.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Do you follow that guy on Instagram, by the way?
Which guy?
Oh, man. Brian, I know you know who I'm talking about. That guy. Oh, my gosh. You got to please find a clip and put that on.
Triple H impersonator?
Yes.
Oh, this dude. He does like straight up reenactments of like Unreal and press conferences, and he has a pitch perfect Triple H impression. He has a pretty pitch perfect Bruce Pritchard as well. If we can get one of those clips up there, I don't know his actual IG name, Brian. I know you're probably gonna find it, but he's like, so you know, okay, all right. So you know, this is why we do what we do. Do we got it? Do we have it? Yeah, let's throw that up, Brian. I don't know if I can hear you right now, but I just want to hear that before we get into our AEW Revolution Preview. Unless we got anything else we got to talk about. Do we want to talk about Punk and the Usos?
We haven't gotten your take.
Here we go. There he is.
WWE, ESPN,
Triple H in the meeting.
Really going great.
This guy.
We're having a great time. However, you know, if you guys could maybe stop giving us bad letter grades on our PLEs, that'd probably be good. Because I mean, that kind of puts us in a bad spot.
Listen, man, if ESPN is known for anything, it is for the fact that we are transparent and honest. And we are going to call it like we see it. You know, when an NFL team makes a dumb draft pick and we have to give it a letter grade, we're going to be honest. We're going to give it a B, a C, a D, an A if it's the Cowboys. And so with you guys, when you guys put on a PLE, we're going to treat it like a sporting event, and we're going to call it like it is. Okay, and that's great if we were AEW, right, which stands for ain't even watching, because ain't nobody watching that crap. But we're WWE. We're the big leagues. We're the big time, right? So when we put on a show, and you know, we've got our greatest hits out there. You know, we're doing the Masked Men. We've got Cody winning the title. We've got, you know, Roman Reigns returning for the first time in 3 months, 4 months. We've got a new guy joining the Vision because all the other Vision members are hurt. When we're pulling out all the big guns, we need you guys to like back us up on that. You know, Hunter, maybe we should just start putting on better shows. Then we would probably get better letter grades.
No reasonable guy. I've put up with a lot of crap from you recently. You're kind of like the new Road Dogg. you just say a bunch of crap and you don't even know what you're talking about, but you're really starting to get on my nerves. Just trying to be
this got to be new. Did he put this out today?
Yes, I guess 2 days ago.
God. And I beat you with the pedigree 1, 2, 3 in less than 5 minutes and send you back to the bottom of the mid card with RVD and Booker T and Scott Steiner and all those other losers that I've beaten.
All right. We got you.
Okay,
not too much on Triple H either, but that guy's impression is hilarious.
It's really, really impressive. Actually, that made me think that made me think of a couple of things. It's good. Because if WWE put on the craziest show ever, like if the wrestling matches didn't change, but WWE crammed every single possible other thing into that show. The Rock comes out and then Stone Cold comes out and stuns him. But going storyline changes, right? The match is the same, but Cody turns heel, or whatever, like big moments. 10 new masked men to show up, like whatever. That wouldn't change the letter grades, and this is what makes grading or otherwise like using some sort of silly rubric to review a wrestling show. That's what makes it so impossible, because at the end, if you want to do letter grades, the things you're grading are the matches. You're grading bell to bell. You're not grading the other stuff, and you're not grading like the razzle dazzle, right? Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but it's just not a full picture of any show. I mean, it would be like, does grading the in-ring stuff on an episode of Raw tell you anything about what happened on Raw? No, I mean, and to this day, even when people who don't grade it, the hardest thing to do is to find a Raw review that just bullet points the important shit that happened. Not like they'll bullet point wins and losses, but it's hard to find people that just really functionally bullet point backstage segments and the actual twists and turns along the way. That's really that's what makes wrestling tough. That's what makes wrestling different. That was what makes wrestling worth watching. But yeah, I'm sure that's probably pretty close to how the conversation went. And another funny thing is, and this is not a defense of anybody, but in some ways, this is sort of the genius of Dana White, because, and that's obviously what Triple H is that's his position. I mean, that's what they're trying to turn him into. If it was Dana White, he would have just gone into a press conference. I was going to say the post event presser, but the piece wasn't up by then.
Mm-hmm.
He would have not avoided. He would have demanded a question about it, and he would have been like, "This is a bunch of bullshit. Why do we have a contract with these people and they're trying to hurt our deal?"
Right.
And he would just say the quiet part out loud, really angrily, and you'd be like, "Okay, well, at least he admitted it," and then you move on.
Then you move on. It's when you do it's when you do the dance. It's when you do the workarounds is when people are like, that's when they keep pestering. That's when they feel like they got to hit you with a got you questions. And so,
yeah,
I get it.
Yeah. Briefly, NXT before we get to Revolution. Did you watch NXT this week?
I caught some of it. I didn't catch the whole thing.
Shout out to Ren Sinclair, personal favorite of mine. Who are the absolute greats on NXT right now? We're in an in between period. Kendall, Ren. I put JC Jane up there. She's sick.
JC Jane.
She's made for the main roster.
Sol Ruka, Lola Vice, Kalani Jordan. I think this is going to be...
The women's division is just ridiculous.
Yeah, the women's division right now is classing the women's division is always deeper than the men's, but I think right now, especially after losing Oba, Trick, and Javon, it's gonna stand out so much more. Just how many incredible women talent that they have, just ready to roll. You know what I mean? They arguably have 3 or 4 people on that NXT roster that's ready for the main roster.
Are you enjoying Ethan Page and Ricky Saints as a duo?
I saw a video of them this morning with Ethan Page doing Ricky's entrance. I gotta say,
they got a lot of outside of the ring chemistry. They got the inside the ring, whatever. It seems a little bit thrown together now, although you understand the backstory.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the men's division is still kind of trying to find its footing. I still got high hopes for Tony D. I mean, he is legit. He's really legit. I think that they're, like I have predicted for years, trying to figure out what his main roster gimmick is going to be.
Right.
I mean, all of Fatal Influence too. Fallon Henley, I think, I'm still not selling my stock. I think she might have the most main roster upside of any of these people. Well, okay, it's separate from Sol Rucker or something. But yeah, there's just a whole lot of total package performers in the women's division there that are just crazy. And by the way, do you see the news that they're looking at potentially having 6 women's matches on the WrestleMania card, I think, which would be significant?
It would all matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's multiple women's stories that
basically got. So let me run them down. We got Stephanie McCare versus Liv Morgan. We got Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill.
That's 2.
It looks like we're going to find our way back to AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch, but maybe not. I mean, Becky Lynch, that's not set in stone. And obviously, we got some other stuff going on. But I still think that they're going to do a Becky Lynch versus, what's the referee's name?
Jessica Carr.
Yeah.
Jessica Carr. Yeah.
We're going to get a Becky Lynch versus Jessica Carr match at some point, 100%. I don't know if that's WrestleMania, although it does seem like we're sort of micro booking WrestleMania to a certain extent. Like all the stuff that's not title matches feels like they're going to be a little bit like ECW. Not hard. I don't mean hardcore, but ECW matches when it would be like, and now for the luchadors, and now for the, whatever, and now for the technical wrestlers, and now like it's all going to have sort of a gimmick. But anyway, which leads us to U.S. title. The U.S. title match is now, the rumor is Julia versus Tiffany Stratton, which I think could be an absolute banger. They'll probably give it 6 minutes, but that's a great idea, WWE, if that's what you're going for. And it looks like we're settling. We're like throwing Io Sky back into the Kabuki Warriors. This is the rumor now, back into the Kabuki Warriors universe, and she'll either go one-on-one with Asuka, or it'll be a triple threat with Kairi Sane in there too, because there's a lot of drama and tension built in. That could be a lot of fun. And then the what's left is the tag team titles. So we got Irresistible Forces, we got Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair as the kind of top contenders, but then there's also the Bellas, and we must mention Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. If Bayley doesn't have a WrestleMania match, we riot, man.
She's gonna have one, guys. They gotta play it up.
I just ran down the whole freaking card, and the most feasible Bayley option is in a 4-team tag team match, which could very easily not exist. So we'll see. But yeah. So anyway, that's a whole lot of matches. One other WrestleMania note before we get in. Another rumor this week was that it's going to be Brock Lesnar versus Gunther at WrestleMania. Now, there were some conflicting reports on this, but we've been saying it's got to be Obafemi now for a couple weeks. Here's my question to you. I don't even want to know your opinion on that so much as I want to know, if you don't do Obafemi versus Brock, what do you do with Obafemi? And if you do Obafemi versus Brock, what do you do with Gunther? I know that we had said Gunther, Rey Mysterio. I mean, that's kind of a layup, right?
Yeah, I thought Gunther, Rey Mysterio probably made the most sense, especially with the whole Dragon Lee of it all. And if you do Gunther and Brock Lesnar, you don't really know who's going to be the babyface there. We got some Brock by default. I'm not sure if you want to beat Gunther yet.
You really want Brock to be working babyface with Paul Heyman in his corner, so then Paul's getting cheered? I mean, that's kind of crazy.
Absolutely not. I don't even think Brock Lesnar would get cheered. I think people just really like the song and really like the fireworks. I don't think people are just like super geeked to see Brock Lesnar like that. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, the Oba and Brock thing, man, it's a conundrum, but it's all credit to how well they built Obafemi so far, right? Because the last thing you want to do is put him on WrestleMania in his first WrestleMania match against Brock Lesnar and have him lose, especially if this is people's first time really seeing him. The only way you book Brock and Oba is if Brock goes, he puts Oba over. The only way you do Brock and Gunther is if Gunther's retiring Brock Lesnar, all right?
Here would be my counterpoint to both of those. I think in both cases, I would book him exactly the same way. which is at WrestleMania, either Brock goes over by a hair, Brock barely wins, or there's some sort of double DQ, double count out, something. And then at SummerSlam, Brock loses to whoever he, beat or barely or tied with at WrestleMania.
The only way that works.
SummerSlam, he might be ready to retire. There's a lot of rumors that he's sort of ready to wrap things up.
It's in Minnesota this year, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why a lot of people are saying maybe that's the retirement gig.
It's like, I like that idea of a double something, but not a disqualification, not a count out. But you got to do something like Godzilla versus King Kong type shit.
You got to break the ring.
You got to break the ring. You got to break the ramp. You got to break something on the entranceway. Like, there's got to be a gaping hole in the middle of like the entranceway where it's like that's where Brock and Oba fucking like destroyed each other, and like they got to like maneuver their way around it for like the rest of the show, and it like becomes like this thing where it's like, yeah, we kind of had this non-finish for WrestleMania, but it was the most insane looking non-finish in the history of non-finishes, right?
You know what I would do? You know what I would do? I got a pitch. WWE, whoever's listening right now, get your notepad out.
Oh, it's out.
I was joking around on the Only Grabs chat on Wednesday.
Patreon.com/onlygrabs for $9.99. Get in there.
They had a table spot where they did the table collapse. I think the table collapsed between some people's feet. Was that on Dynamite?
I think it was, yeah.
And I was just like,
yeah.
I was like, guys, if we put our heads together, I feel like we could invent the announce table that would work properly. That would break when you wanted to break and not break all the other times. But that's sort of beside the point. My plan needs a functional announce table. So they would need some real engineering guidance here. But you know how they elevate the ring at WrestleMania?
Yes.
Imagine if they went through the announce table and then through the platform. So not only did they break an announce table, but they like broke it, and then there was a hole in the floor that they fell.
They just go full Looney Tunes, and it's just like boom, boom, boom.
Yes, exactly. They somehow powerbomb each other through the announce table and then through a trapdoor underneath the announce table. Wouldn't that be awesome?
I don't hate that, actually. I don't hate that. I don't know the physics of how that works, but it would be super dope to watch somebody.
You would basically just have to have a trapdoor. I mean, literally like a trapdoor with like a piece of plywood over it on the floor that you keep it covered up until it's time, and then you like slide the slat back, and then whatever touches it then will just evaporate. Right? So the announcers can sit on this thing, and then when it's time, the floor becomes, paper mache.
There you go.
I think it's doable.
I think it's doable, but man, that's a lot.
I agree. You can only break the. I mean, I was going to say you can only break the ring so many times, but didn't Big Show do it twice? Wasn't it? Was it Big Show Brock and Big Show Henry?
Mark Henry,
yeah,
one with Brock, yeah.
But they've reinforced the ring since then. I don't think that can happen again. Yeah, they should break out that gimmick more. How funny would it be if there was just like a cruiserweight match and their ring exploded after Hurricane Rana? That would be funny. Anyway, but what do you do? What do you do with Obafemi if he doesn't wrestle Brock?
Oh man, I think there's a way. I don't know what you do. I kind of feel like. See, this is the issue of booking somebody so superly duperly strong. You know what I mean? Like, if he's not booked in the way that makes the most sense, then you run the risk of ruining his character, right? Like, but if you get somebody who is, I don't know, man. Like, that's such a.
The answer is,
I don't want to say he's a tough spot, but it's like, yo, you don't give the option of an open challenge.
No,
with the crowd chanting Oba.
The answer is, I am not endorsing this idea, but the WWE answer is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
No,
that he beats the shit out of everybody in 5 seconds. Just send him in there. Let that kick off one of the Saturday show or something like that. And just have him absolutely demolish everybody. The only as it comes in, the only theme song you hear is Obafemi. And he just goes and bulldozes every single person that doesn't have a WrestleMania date, and that's it. That's what they would do, and it might be the best use of him if you're not doing that. the best use of him would be to like, have some legend come out and have him just destroy him. Like a non-match segment. Yeah,
I would hate that though.
Me too.
Me too. I would legitimately hate that.
That's why I think it's got to be Brock Lesnar and Gunther's got to be Rey Mysterio. It just makes too much sense.
Makes too much sense.
Anyway, let's move on to Revolution.
Let's do it.
Revolution. AEW's big show is this Sunday. Headlining that card is, of course, Texas Death, also known as the Texas Death Match. MJF versus Hangman Adam Page. I don't know if you heard our esteemed executive producer Ben Cruz was at the press conference, and I think did he ask the last question of the presser, Brian?
I think he did. Yeah, I saw a great quote from Hangman Adam Page saying like, "I was in Texas Death. I've won in Texas Death. I've made careers in Texas Death. I've ended careers in Texas Death, and with every drop of blood." I was like, "Oh boy, that's going in a promo." That's the promo package answer right there, Hangman. Good job by our guy Ben Cruz out there at the press conference. But yeah, they've been going super hard with the promo all week. Obviously, you're in Los Angeles, you're in the backdrop of Hollywood, and there's lots of opportunities to make those media moments happen. I think we got MJF at the end of this show, so stick around and check that out as well. But you know what? That's going to be a match that's going to be incredible. There's never been a whack Texas Death match in AEW history. Every single Texas Death match lives up to its hype. And it's going to be really interesting. What's up? It's going to be really interesting to kind of see if Hangman Adam Page Cody Rhodes himself. Like, is he really going to not challenge for the championship? Are they really going to take the belt off of MJF this quickly? It doesn't seem like it. It seems like every time this dude's the champion, like AEW just happens to be doing a little bit better than they were when he wasn't the champion. You know what I mean? Look into that however may you will. It's just what I've noticed. And damn, man, like we kind of already saw that it sort of cut the nuts off of one of your most important characters in your company's history, in Cody Rhodes. And eventually you kind of lost him. I don't know if that was, a A plus B conversation. But it's a stipulation that folks that are the AEW diehards, which in this case, I don't know if there's any casual AEW fans. I think they're all diehards. They all know this is the stipulation that ruined Cody Rhodes' character in AEW. Why would we do this for Hangman Adam Page?
I'll give you some reasons.
I think I know them, but go for it.
Number one, and I think this is maybe the least tangible reason. But in some ways the most important. I think if he does lose, if he does disqualify himself from ever wrestling for the title again, I think it sort of explodes that whole piece of criticism against AEW, right? If you can book that storyline correctly, then Tony Khan can basically say, "See, it wasn't a bad idea." Like if you had given me another year with Cody, we would have made it matter. We
would have fixed it.
Yeah,
made it work.
And I also think that there's some. I mean, I don't think this is. I'm not saying that Tony Khan's sitting here fuming that people still talk about it. But I do think that there's a piece of like we can kind of reclaim this idea. Like this is his whole half of his roster is based on reclaiming WWE errors, right? I mean, those are wrestlers that WWE got wrong. I can do this right. Now he's going to fix his own thing. Two, I think, as we've seen since MJF's been champ, man, the top of the card is stacked with baby faces, right? And we got Will Ospreay coming back. There's a whole. It's going to be overly full. Aside from the Cody Rhodes of it all, and maybe even aside from this particular stipulation, forget this match. If you just saw a news story that was like AEW plans to have Hangman Adam Page concentrate on the mid card to get people over for the next year, you'd be like, all right, sounds good. You know what I mean? Like it was not necessarily a terrible idea. And
the point of putting of somebody that established putting people over in the mid card is the hope that they can eventually get to the top of the card.
Or the hope is that they get the TBS or the TNT title and make it make it matter. Or sorry, they get the international title and make it matter. Or but I think the more concrete thing is the top of the card is stacked with baby faces. Well, what's going to happen when he realizes how bad he fucked himself? He's probably going to go crazy and turn heel, right? And then if he's a heel, like, does he still abide by that rule? Does he just start running in now? He becomes interesting in a lot of ways. I guess this is officially in the contract. Is it? I think before the assumption was it was just sort of his word, so that when he turned heel, he could renege on it. If it's in the contract, it's not that much more complicated to get around. I still think that the way through this, the most obvious way through this, is at some point Swerve is champion, and they still hate each other so much that Swerve demands him as an opponent. You guys can't wrestle, for the title, and he's like, no, I want to wrestle for the title. It won't prove anything if I don't, and then he gets that whole thing deleted. But I think that as it stands now, it's not a terrible idea. Now, listen, I don't know if that means they're going to do it, because AEW has shown us before that they give you these stipulations. What was the recent one where they give you a stipulation and you're like, well, it only makes sense? Oh, the most recent one was Mark Briscoe and the Mark Briscoe joins the Callis family stipulation, where it was like, well, why would you have this stip if he wasn't going to join? Well, he didn't join. AEW does throw this back in our faces a lot, and the whole build to this match, which I'm very excited about, was kind of helter-skelter. If you remember, like, there was the Hangman Challenge, and then he announced it was a Texas Death Match, even though they hadn't said that he got to pick the stipulation. And then they had to go back the next week and pretend like they were starting from scratch and pick the stipulation, and it was a Texas Death Match. I think that there's it wouldn't be crazy to pick either one. Basic wrestling logic, like Wrestling 101. The heel showed ass in the closing segment of Dynamite this week, so that would make you believe that the heel is going to win at the
That's
pay-per-view.
How it goes.
There's a lot of stuff going for MJF, and also, like you said, it's more interesting with him around, and there's a lot more. He has a lot more challengers out there waiting for him. So, I mean, my official pick is MJF. The only reason, I think, if this stipulation wasn't on the line, I think 90% of people would be picking MJF. I think this stip's a little bit of a red herring to get us more interested. And frankly, it might end up being a terrible idea to have for this stipulation to take hold. But it certainly makes it more interesting in the meantime, doesn't it?
Oh, I'm interested.
Isn't he? If he loses, I feel like they get a 6-month grace period of like, let's see how they get around this now, right? I do think there's a point after like 6 months where you're just sort of like, wait, is this just really going to stick? Is Hangman never going to wrestle for the championship again? And we just start joking about it on every single episode of the show, and fans are just, But I think you do get a great. You're like, let's see what they do here. I don't think it's a terrible idea. I think it's a win-win for Hangman to lose in a lot of ways. As weird as that sounds.
I think it's a good idea for Hangman to lose because, like you said, like I said, you Cody Rhodes yourself a little bit, right? Like you're not. Everybody knows why that stipulation was made. It's because we have the prior knowledge of how it worked out. Like, there's the super smarky fans that they'd be like, "Oh man, like Hangman lost. Is his contract up soon? Like, how's this gonna happen? Is he gonna be on the same way Cody Rhodes? Like, is he gonna go back on his word? Is he gonna do this? Is he gonna do that? Like, there's a lot of what ifs, and the best part of the what ifs is the intrigue of it all. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, Hangman Adam Page was a born world champion this year. He wasn't always a boring world champion. But this past World Championship run, it was very boring. And if he beats MJF, when the AEW is doing really well in my eyes, and the top of the card is a lot more interesting than it has been in a long time, I think that's a massive misstep. So yes, I think MJF is going to win. I think Hangman's going to not have the ability to challenge it. And I really didn't think of a way around it, but until you mentioned the Swerve Strickland of it all, where it's like, Swerve hates this guy so much, he lifts the stipulation, or somebody fights for his honor and it's like, yo, if I win this title, the first thing I will do is go to Tony Khan and lift this stipulation for you. While MJF is basically like, nana boo boo, you'll never get another title shot again. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I could. Oh yeah,
you could totally do that. You could totally do just the total baby facey, like Will Ospreay wins the title and he's like, there's only one man who deserves this the most.
Yep.
And that, whatever. But on the heel thing, what you could also do, and we're just fantasy booking like crazy now. You could also have him lose and then become maniacally obsessed with the idea that like if he couldn't beat MJF, no one should. So he starts like interfering to help MJF in all these matches. Right? He's like, I want MJF to be the champion that never loses, because that way my reputation's intact. You know what I mean?
Go. There you go.
And then you have him as this like Sting, like avenging angel, just wandering in black cowboy chaps or whatever, and like, you know, and just like doing all this weird, you know, making all these weird decisions. I do think that I definitely think that there's a heel Hangman option that would really reinvent his character again. I mean,
it just says, "Screw you guys, I lied about it."
Yeah,
is that a possibility?
I don't know if they're saying it's in the contract or not. It seems like it is, but I don't know. But yeah. I mean, and even if not, you could just have him have non-title matches against the champion and have him demolish the champion, and that's as good as a championship win. Then he can get his own. He could have his own disputed world championship belt that looks like that's like a giant belt buckle, you know. And he's just like, no, I'm the real champion. You know, there's so many things you could do with it. I think that the problem with Cody Rhodes was not that it was the Codyverse. It was that not only did he not wrestle for the title, but he didn't interact with anybody in the title scene. If he had had that stipulation, but was still constantly rubbing up against all, no pun intended, whatever I should say there. He was constantly, a part of all these storylines with the top of the card. If the fans are saying, God damn it, I wish Cody Rhodes hadn't had that stipulation so we could wrestle for the title, that's a win.
That's true.
You know, just to have people like caring about a wrestler that much. So I think the Cody Rhodes of it all obscures the fact that this is not a bad decision. It would not be a bad decision to have Hangman lose. Anyway, we both got MJF. Brian, you get a vote too. But you're only allowed to pick what we don't pick. I'm just kidding. Did we win you over, Brian?
I mean, I would never pick Adam Hangman Page, but
in any match you wouldn't?
No, never.
Why not?
He's a good wrestler I don't like.
But you would pick him to see if you thought he was going to win. And this is who do you think is going to win?
He's going to win though either. Like I would want to be intrigued, but I was sitting there. There's nothing convincing. I just feel like MJ.
I feel like of all of the people that I know, of all the wrestling fans that I know, and I'm saying this totally seriously. This is not a joke about you or the fact that you like Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
I knew that was coming.
Of all of the wrestling fans that I know, I would have thought that you would have been the number one person to be won over because he's a former teacher.
And my ex-wife is a teacher.
That's what I mean. I feel like you're the guy. I feel like
there it is.
Oh, really? Does that turn you off?
Yeah.
I feel like you're the guy who would be like, and dude, he's a former high school art teacher, and like whatever. I feel like you're the top person who would bring that up.
No.
Anyway, okay, so you hate Hangman Adam Page. That's fine. Let's pencil in Brian H. Waters for a Texas death match at some point in the future. I want to see Brian H. Waters versus Hangman Adam Page in a Texas death match to see if Brian has to become a Hangman fan. See, that's the kind of thing you can do with Hangman when he's not in the championship. All right, next match. I don't even know where we go from here. The rest of it is just like the absolute like parade of great wrestling. It's a freaking death march of great wrestling. There's so much of it. Tekla versus Chris Statlander. Two out of 3 falls. Tekla's your champion. I'm a huge Tekla fan, and she's been so good with the title. Like every week, it seems like she gets on the mic, and you're like, "Oh, I like her way better." You know, like she's a whole lot of fun. I am inclined to pick Tekla because she's got the backing of the other two sides of or corners of the triangle, sides of the triangle, corners of the triangle, one of the two. She's also, there's a lot of room left in mine with her, and there's a lot of room left in mine with like dejected, angry Chris Statlander. So that would be my pick. For some reason, I feel like Stat's gonna win though.
Yo, I get the same feeling, son. I get the same feeling that Stat's going to win her title back because they did absolutely nothing with her as the champ. And she seems like somebody who's high priority for AEW. So outside of having great matches, there's not really a ton of story with her, I don't think. And a great sort of redemption, or at least being able to tell the story of somebody who's able to tap into something a little bit deeper and darker, like the Toxic Spider had to win her title, turns Chris Statlander up. I think it'll be a good opportunity to get her the title back, even though I like Tekla a lot.
Yeah, so are we going with our gut here and saying Stat?
I'm going with my gut. I think Stat wins it back.
I think I agree. Also, you say they did nothing with her. One minor thing they did with her was put her on the Masked Man show.
Which was great.
No. I'm saying, which I'm saying is like, it shows that this isn't, I mean, you can tell by watching the show, this is someone they're super behind. But I think building her into a face of the company is a big deal. And you can still build with Tekla without making it look like you've forgotten about Chris Statlander. Maybe having her win is the right idea. I don't know. By the way, since I'm on the subject, there was a lot of grumbling going on that the Masked Man show rub is out the window since Drew did a spot with us and then lost his title immediately thereafter. I just want to explain this. We've talked about the Masked Man rub, that everybody that's come on the show, and it's mostly with WWE that we're talking about, because I guess Stat would be another example to the contrary. But people come on the show and then they're the bigger and better things await them. It's a nice joke, but really, like, if you would ask me on the day of the Drew interview, I would have told you straight up, he's on the show because he's losing, right? He's on the he's on the show because they're got to get some good press in before he's not doing press anymore, because they're putting him and to hype up the fact that he's definitely, to make it seem like he's definitely going to win. It mostly works for up and comers. When somebody's about to take a leap, they put him out there for media to see if they can handle it. And that's how to pull back the curtain. But basically, it's if you're on the potential upswing, then that's where you get the rub. If you're at the very top, God forbid you come on this show or any show, because I think you're on the way out. It's a double-edged sword. Okay, next one. Okay, Brian, do you agree with us about Stat, by the way?
I'm going with Tekla. I think she holds on to it just a little bit longer.
Is there anyone in this match that you hate as much as Hangman Adam Page?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
Well, I can't hate Chris. That's the birthday twin, but nah. Even though she don't celebrate it. Right?
Wait, if you found out that Hangman's birthday was the same as yours, would that change your opinion of him?
Maybe. At least if he was in August.
Okay. The Young Bucks versus FTR. FTR are your tag team champions. We've seen this match before. We've seen this feud before. We've actually seen variations on this match. We saw one on Wednesday in a very good 6-man tag that, in full disclosure, my immediate reaction was, I know this is going to be the best match I watched this week, and I'm sort of already exhausted by it. Because I feel like we've seen it a lot. Now, I'm the person who, in the early days of AEW, said they should start every episode of every show and every pay-per-view with the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Bros. I understand. I mean, I don't think there's necessarily negative value in going back to the well, especially when you have two teams of this caliber. I think this is going to be match of the night. I'm just going to call it right now. I just think the wind up for it at some point gets so boring, because this is one of those matches that you could just say, hell, let's just do it again, and then you're back. You don't need all of you don't need the feuding between the two to be so dramatic, right? It's just like, these guys hate each other, and they're the two best wrestling tag teams in the history of time. Like, that's all you need. We don't need some brawls to remind us of that. We don't need a trios match with all four of these guys in it to remind us of that. So anyway, that would be my only complaint my only knock. As to who's going to win, Kaz, do you have a pick?
I think FTR retains. I think they're going to retain. I just get the feeling the Young Bucks don't need the championship. You know what I mean? I think the rivalry kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, are they tied right now? Is there does anybody have a significant advantage over one another?
Brian, can you look that up? I don't. They're in their series.
Yes, in their matches against each other. Like, I don't know what it is, but I'm just going off gut feeling here. I think FTR is going to retain. The Young Bucks have turned into like sympathetic baby faces, and it's probably too soon to throw the titles back on them. You know what I mean? Like, FTR is really getting their sea legs as heels, and you can't just give them the good stuff right away. Like, maybe they run it back with a stipulation at the next big pay-per-view, and that's the title change for the Young Bucks. But if I was going to this one, I'll put my money on FTR.
Me too. And again, going with gut because I'm sure the stats will not back me up here. I'm sure Dax Harwood will be in my mentions telling me how wrong I am. But it feels like not only do the Bucks need the title, but FTR, who in a vacuum doesn't need the title either, particularly. Doesn't it sort of feel like when they lose the title, then they just go off the map for a year? Like it
feels like it.
So, I mean, I know that's not literally true, but it does seem like that you want to keep them as engaged as possible. And frankly, we've seen all these Young Bucks matches. I mean, listen, there's an endless well of jet speed type young tag teams that like you put in a 30-minute pay-per-view match for the Young Bucks and you've just seen the most amazing thing you've ever seen in your life. But I feel like there's more interesting matches with FTR, you know? Also, whatever happened to the Hurt Syndicate? Don't we have like
Good
a rematch?
question.
Don't we have them getting back into the title picture at some point? And isn't that much more interesting with FTR, especially because of the fake backstage heat or whatever? Like, it feels like that's the story there. I don't know. I think FTR's got to win. I just think that there's again, like I've said in all of these matches so far, AEW's on a real streak right now, man. They're doing really, really well. And I think if you're getting that feedback, I think that they've settled into a reality where it's like there's some bookers that would say, God, we're doing so well right now. This MJF title reign's so great. You know what we should do? We should shock the world at Revolution to get people even more excited, right? So we should have Hangman win and blah, blah, blah. Or there's the idea. It's like, you know what? Everything's really, really clicking right now. Let's not rock the boat too much, you know? And especially when you're telling these big stories, if there's more room to explore, you stick with what you got. And I think in this case, you stick with FTR. Brian, tell us why you're picking the Bucks.
I mean, no, I'm going with the FTR. So the record is, from what I'm seeing, is the Bucks have a 2-1 advantage on head-to-head pay-per-view and major television meetings.
There you go.
There you go.
I think, FTR ties it up.
Did you like Ciampa teaming with FTR, Kaz, on Wednesday? Do you think he's a good fit for the FTR family?
I mean, for all the black and gold diehards, myself being one of them, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Definitely leaves a little carrot dangler for one Johnny Gargano, if that ever happens.
I don't think it's going to happen. Although it was kind of weird that his whole like coma gimmick ended with him just magically waking up and getting squashed by Obafemi. I really thought they were going to go have him do something, but it's weird that was the whole build. I don't know. Maybe he is on. I think it'd be really funny if like they just recruit like 4 or 5 more dudes to the family, and then all of a sudden one day Cash Wheeler looks around and they're all bald and he's the only one with hair, and then Dax Harwood sort of like smiling. He's just like, yeah, I finally got my bald family, and then Cash has got to shave his head if he wants to still be friends or not, and that's why they split up. This is a real long-term booking here. Okay. Next, we got Moxley versus Takeshita for the Continental Championship. This is a no time limit match, which begs the question. On an AEW pay-per-view, which is going to go till 3:20 in the morning anyway, how long could a no time limit match possibly go?
To satisfy people signing up for a no time limit match?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. If I was AEW, I'd make the match go 2 minutes. like just have it be a 2-minute match.
I mean, it does sort of seem like that's the other option there, right? Just to really like, invert the expectation or subvert the expectation.
You either go super long or like shock the world and just like Konosuke just catches Moxley slipping. And it's just like, what the hell just happened? But knowing them, they're probably going to give us like a 45-minute epic.
Yes,
and lots of blood, lots of fighting. And Moxley's so hot right now, man. I don't think you take that title off him. You know, I know the reason why this match happens is because the time limit draw that they had on TV a few weeks back, and then Konosuke gets his finish in to send the crowd home happy. That would usually lead to think that like Takeshita's probably going to win his title, and that's still probably a strong possibility. But I just think Moxley has found himself. You know what I mean? Not that he was lost or anything like that. No, you know what? It's not so much Moxley found himself. I think the crowd and the audience have like fully
found Moxley,
gotten behind and found Moxley. Right. Like it's like, okay, like now we all understand like this dude is like the last of the Mohicans, you know what I mean? Of like those just freaking no nonsense, suits up every single night, has a match every single show. Like, just, you want to talk about like the workhorse? Like, Moxley is the workhorse of workhorses. In WWE, he's the workhorse. In AEW, he's the workhorse. When he was a heel, it went against him, but now fans have a massive appreciation for it because he never phones it in. Mm-hmm. Every match that he has on TV, and he has a match on TV every single week, is a hard-hitting, great match. And that's what's gotten him so popular. I wouldn't take the title off him. I'm going to pick Moxley.
It's really hard to choose. The Takeshita Okada stuff is quieted down, but we're still sort of expecting some resolution there. And I'm trying to figure out how this belt would affect it one way or the other. But I think you're right. I think at the end of the day, again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it at this point. Mox might be the only guy in the company that can elevate this title to basically the equivalent of the world title.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's value in that that's impossible to really quantify.
And if you're not building towards Ospreay versus MJF eventually for the title, I think Moxley, circling the block and becoming a fan favorite, challenging MJF for the world title is another big money match. That you can make one of these days. A title for title even.
I got one idea. What if they open with this match? But instead of having it in crypto, can we have it in do they have a practice court somewhere at crypto? Or there's got to be some other venue, right? Isn't there, what's the place across the street? Like the Grammy Museum or whatever that we've been to before?
Yeah.
Have this match in a separate venue, give away the tickets to the top fans, start the match there. And then after 15 minutes, Excalibur jumps in and he's just like, guys, we're going to cut to the rest of our card, but we will jump back in to this no time limit match at various points throughout the show.
And they wrestle Goldust and Roddy Piper style. Exactly. Just have the match keep going.
They wrestle, but in a ring or whatever for 2 hours. And so we give you the beginning, we give you the ending, and then if you want to watch the whole thing, it's available on YouTube or on HBO Max. Doesn't that sound like it's a thing that would satisfy everybody?
Would people be into picture-in-picture wrestling? Or it's
it's every AEW commercial break, so I hope so.
Yeah. No, but instead of a commercial, you just get another match. you're just chock full of wrestling.
Dude, imagine if I guess you're not on you can rent this on HBO, right?
Pretty sure.
On HBO Max, it's where you buy it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if they were exclusively for HBO Max viewers?
Oh wow!
The picture-in-picture is available as an option. If you get the regular pay-per-view stream, you can't do that. But for HBO Max viewers, you can toggle onto it.
I can see that, but I definitely come from the school of once you got your viewers captive, don't make them do extra stuff. Just keep them there. You know what I mean? So that's a possibility. Because they haven't advertised it already is the only reason why that's a bad. I would like that idea. If they were in there weeks ahead, we're doing this big HBO Max exclusive, where it's
you're right.
Yada 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 yada. I'm
this is mostly speculation. I don't think they're going to start the match in cutaway, but that would be that would be one way that you could actually work the no time limit clause without it being a time limit disappointment. And then here, low key, the secret is, and it would be hard to convey this. You're not preventing anybody from watching the match. The parts that we're not airing live on TV are not important parts of the match. They're just house show filler. It's both of the guys fall through the floor and then they're hurt for 20 of those minutes. You know what I mean? Well, it's just a way of making it seem like the longest match in AEW history, right? We already have had Iron Man matches.
Yeah.
How long are these guys going to go? An hour and a half? Or put it on last. Not. They should put it on last, after the main event, and just be like, guys, we're just going to keep going here. You tap out whenever you want to, But it's wild on a card this big to be talking about a match that long. I think that the minimum, if you play it straight, the minimum that this match can go is 35 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think?
Yeah, I would say it has to be a half-hour long match or a 2-minute match.
No, right. I'm saying if you play it straight, if you don't do some sort of gimmick,
Yep.
Yeah, it's got. I think it's got to be 30
It has to
plus.
play into the last match where it was neck and neck until, the clock made itself a figure.
We got a lot of other people that could potentially be involved with this, obviously. The entire Callis family, the entire Death Riders crew. It'll be fun to watch one way or the other. Brian, do you disagree with our Moxley take?
Nah, yeah, I was thinking about this the whole time. I definitely think it's Moxley. I was thinking, 50, 55 minutes. Definitely gonna be a long match, though.
Yeah, listen,
that's my overall.
But okay, see if you agree with that by the time we get to the end of these picks. We're not going to do the pre-show picks. So we're about halfway through the card right now. Trios Championship, the Don Callis family, the sort of like super team of Okada, Fletcher, and Mark Davis, who is maybe just in terms of usage and work rate like a top 5 guy in AEW right now, versus Jet Speed and Mystico. If this were Jet Set Rodeo, I would assume they were going to win it back, because the Callis family team is so thrown together, and it seems just for the sake of sort of having a bunch of big names, these names on the card. But is Mystico going to hold an AEW title? Is he going to be around to defend that? Well, I guess they don't defend the Trios Championships that much anyway. Fuck it. I'm going with Jet Speed and Mystico. I mean, they're doing all this work with CMLL. Like, is it the worst look to have him carrying an AEW title around down there? No, I think it's pretty good.
I think the Don Callis family retains.
Okay.
I think, they're on a gold excursion. They want to get all the championships in the AEW. Having the triples and having, Okada and Fletcher's individual titles. Okada still has the international championship? What is it? What's the championship that he still has?
Yeah, it's the international title, right?
Okay, and Fletcher's the TNT champion. Yeah. I like the visual of those guys both having 2 titles that they walk to the ring with. So it'd be great
if Don Callis came out at some point with all of the gold that his entire faction has, and it's just like so much that he can't move. He looks like Triple H in that old meme of him having all the belts,
or Mercedes.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I have a photo of that.
I have a really important question to ask you now, Kaz.
Yes.
Any second thoughts on your Mike Speedball Bailey hatred after his 6-star match against Kyle Fletcher on Collision?
Listen, my Speedball hatred has nothing to do with his in-ring ability. He is an incredible in-ring performer. I just think he's kind of a nerd. I just think he's kind of a dork. What
did you in the chat? Dude. You said he's better kill this nerd for me or something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need him to kill this nerd.
Yeah, you gotta kill that nerd, man. Like,
What are you saying? A nerd can't be? You can't enjoy a nerd?
Not in this sense. I mean, guys, first off, put on some shoes. All right, can we wear some shoes? And 2,
fair.
You kind of got this Karate Kid. What's the guy's name from the Karate Kid? Mikey
Danielson? Oh, the other guy?
Danielson. Yeah. Danielson. The necklace Don, whatever. Too much Karate Kid for me, son. Need him to get his ass beat.
I feel like he's really
away from how incredible he is in the ring.
I feel like he's really worked hard to stiffen that stuff up in the ring, or to cinch so that it looks more plausible and more functional, on television. So I mean, I think he deserves a lot of credit. But man, his chemistry with Fletcher is unbelievable. And that match was just insanely good. I find it hard to imagine. I mean, right? I feel like that Speedball has evolved to the point where like he is on AEW, like the guy that I loved so much before he got to AEW finally. And I think he's a lot of fun. He is a nerd. He's totally a nerd. But listen, this is the age of nerds in professional sports. We got nerds running every front office in every major sport.
They're running it.
And so, maybe it's. Would you like him more if he leaned into the nerd gimmick, like came out in there with like the pocket protector, like full Revenge of the Nerds, like taped up glasses and shit? Would you like that better?
Nah, I don't know, Dave. That's my answer. I don't know if I'd like him. There's just how Brian just has his irrational hatred of Hangman Adam Page.
Yeah, that's where you are.
I think that's where I am at with Speedball. Like nothing he did. It was just one of those people I just watched. I'm like, yeah, he's good, but I'm just nah. It's just one of those things. Everybody has that guy. Everybody has that one wrestler that they're like, I can acknowledge how talented you are, but you could still not be my cup of tea. And that's me with Speedball. I'm sorry. It's just one of those things. I'm just like, it's just not a bad guy. Seems like a great dude. Extremely talented. Just, I like my toast buttered a little differently, and he don't butter it the right
Brian,
way.
How much? Brian, on a scale of 1 to Hangman, how much do you hate Speedball Mike Bailey?
Like a 2.
Okay, so you're a fan.
He don't bother me.
Who do you got to win this match? For the first time, you're casting the deciding vote here.
Yeah, I'm going with the Callis family. I think they're holding on to the titles.
All right. It's interesting that Fletcher is sort of the tie that binds this whole team together, right? Because he had the tag team with Okada before, and of course he had the long-running Aussie Open team with Davis. They worked great together in the match in which they won. It's a fun team. I just think, yes, there's the Gold Excursion thing, and yes, like I said, like the trios titles are really easy to throw into the mix when you're just trying to stack belts, right? Like no one's going to be mad that that these guys are double champions and not defending every week. At least history should have told us that. But it's like Okada and Fletcher both have better things to do, so we'll see. Anyway, grudge match time on Swerve Strickland versus Brody King, the man who can break chains with his hands. We know how much these two hate each other. We know the degree the degree of violence that they're willing to go to, at least, in Swerve's case for sure. What do you think, Kaz? Who's going to win this match?
I think Swerve's got to add a couple bodies to his collection to really drive home the new heel turn. And Brody's as big a body you can add without killing somebody who needs it right now.
Yeah.
He's got a penchant for hanging people recently. And
you can't really. The unfair thing about the hanging people thing is it's the only move in wrestling that he couldn't really that Brody can't reverse. It's like you can't. There was just no way.
Do it back to him.
You can't.
Oh God,
that would just not fly at all. Like whatever. But you're right. He's got a penchant for hanging people. He's gotten super. You can see the violence bubbling out of him. Also, Swerve is a human being. I don't know how much he's motivated by competition, but it seems like kind of a lot. And on a card that has a Texas death match, how much is he going to be motivated to make people not care about the Texas death match because of the shit he's willing to do in this grudge match? You know what I mean? I think it could get pretty rough. We don't really know. I mean, I guess I don't know Brody's indie career as well as I should. I don't know what his sort of grudge match, unsanctioned match history is. So I assume, though, you assume by looking at him that he's willing to do just about anything.
Yeah.
What can you whip out?
You can't have the name Brody and not do violent things in the wrestling. It's just the rules, especially with a beard like that.
It's true. I'm having a really hard time with this one. This is a real, going back to Wrestling Booking 101. This is a really tough one because Swerve should probably be establishing himself at the very top of the card, ready in line for the next title shot, whatever. But Brody's just been brought to that level. It would help him more than it would do more for him to win than it would do for Swerve. That's where the math gets complicated for me because I don't know, because I would pick Swerve in a vacuum.
Dave, when all else fails, rely on the masked man bump. I'm taking Swerve Strickland. He was on the show this past week. B. Cruz is with him. Now, if Swerve does lose, right? This is now officially the Benjamin Cruz curse and not the masked man bump.
It's the Ben Cruz curse. It's really easy to put on there.
Because when we interview people, they win championships, baby. They win. They come home super winners after talking to us. Ben will be 0 for 2 in his last 2 if Swerve loses this match. If Swerve and MJF come out of AEW Revolution, both losers, Ben's got to take that juju from us, dog. Like, that's not us. That's not on us.
Mm-hmm.
That's not on the loyal listeners of the Masked Man Show. That is on the man known as B. Cruz.
That's true. As long as we're just imagining things here, or talking shit right here. Am I the only one that finds it hard to watch to watch Swerve in the ring with a giant tattooed guy and not just wonder what Parker Boudreaux and Trench are up to these days? Like, am I the only one that gets...
I see Parker Boudreaux around a little bit. I think he just worked Great Khali in like India or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Good
so.
for him.
I mean, he's got a great look. He still needs some work. He's doing his due diligence of getting himself better. The last time I saw him live, I saw him at I called his match at a Fourth Rope show, I think in Atlanta, and I was like, man, like, he's got a great look, but he definitely needs a little bit of fine tuning. Definitely, a lot of fine tuning, and once he gets that figured out, I think he'll be a legitimate player. But yeah, the Mogul Embassy, how many iterations have that gone through?
It's been a lot. It's absolutely.
I don't know
been
the
a
other guy. The other guy with the tattoos. I don't know where he's at. Trench, yeah, wherever the hell he's at.
According to his Wikipedia page, he's done nothing since being released by AEW.
Yeah, he's released and released.
He's just hanging out. He was a baseball player for a while. Maybe he has some cash.
I'm sure he does.
I mean, he had to pay for those tattoos somehow, right? All right. So wait, are we all on the same page on this one?
Yeah, I'm taking Swerve, taking the Masked Man bump here.
I'm taking Swerve as well. I think that like I said, there's probably more net value in Brody winning, but also Brody's gotten such a huge push. Like he's still a main eventer, at least a nominal main eventer, even if he loses this match. So yeah, I guess I'm with Swerve. Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, Swerve. We're gonna keep this. We're gonna keep off the.
Do you hate Brody King? Is that why you're making this pick?
Nah, I like Brody King a lot.
Of all of the people in the trios championship match, Okada, Fletcher, Davis, Kevin Knight, Mike Bailey, and Mystico, who do you hate the most?
I don't think this is mean.
So I hate Mystico.
No,
Mystico.
But
Mystico never got no
who
hate.
hates Hangman Adam Page, dude? I just want to get to the. Trying to get some.
We're talking about our favorite entrance themes, like early in the podcast.
Mystico's gonna.
Oh yeah, huge. Mystico's at the top of the list. Yeah, I ain't got no Mystico hate.
Okay, fair enough. I'll let that hang. Brian, you just let me know if there's anybody who comes up who you hate as much.
I think we're good. We're good on the rest of the card as I look through. Yeah.
We got 3 more matches. No, 4 more matches before
God
the pre-show.
Damn, 4 more matches?
And that's not counting. That's not counting 0 Hour.
Jesus,
Andrade.
Well,
we can go faster.
This.
Andrade versus Bandito. I mean, this seems like Andrade should win based on all the television we've watched over the past 2 months. But Bandito's the wrestler of the year last year, and doesn't always get to. There's no doubt that Tony Khan likes the dude. Is this the fun road bump in Andrade's big run since his return, right? Do we have Bandito win one so we can get it back? By the way, as you recall, the setup for this match was Brody King cutting a promo and then Bandito saying, and I want a match too. And then Andrade walked out and nobody really understood what was going on. So, not a huge setup for a match that would see Andrade losing, but I wouldn't be shocked if he did. I mean, we got to get something going with Andrade right now, right?
I mean, I think he's going. He's got the selfies with the chicks. He hasn't really lost a lot of matches.
Yeah.
Bandito's good, but he could take an L right now. I don't think Andrade can. I'm taking Andrade in this one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm with you on that. I'm right down the middle on this one. I mean, it's obviously going to be a 50-50 match, right? It's like it'll be the same match no matter who they decide to have win. It's going to be an absolute just thriller of a match. And low-key, Andrade has a lot to gain from it too, just in terms of his reputation in the ring and everything like that. Like, just to watch him go move for move with Bandito, I think it's going to remind a lot of people who this dude is, who Andrade is. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, singles match: Timeless Tony Storm versus Marina Shafir. Special stipulation: everyone is banned from ringside. Is that really on? Where did that step come from? The way that you have it written, Brian. Where did you cut and paste this from?
Gemini.
Huh? Oh, this
Google
this is AI. So any of this stuff could be wrong.
I'm looking at Wikipedia, and it also says yes, everyone is banned from ringside.
Literally, the words is everyone is banned from ringside.
Same thing. Yep, everyone is banned from ringside. Everyone, the crowd.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, do we have to vacate the floor seats for this? Like, what?
Like, all right, Tony and Marina are about to wrestle. Everybody, please exit your seats.
That's the way the graphic says too.
I just don't know. Tony Storm placeholder feuds. I just don't even know what to do with this shit. And but everyone is banned from ringside. Like, that has to be part of the finish, right? Like, how can someone violate that rule, or what? Does someone like drop in from the ceiling, or like what? I don't know. Anyway, let's just rush through it. Tony Storm's gonna win. What do you got? Who do you got, Kaz?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Marina Shafir, man. I'm a fan of the mother's milk.
All
so
right.
I'm gonna go with Marina.
Done. AEW Women's Tag Team Championship. The Babes of Wrath versus Megan Bayne and Lena Cross. I mean, I picked the Babes of Wrath to lose last time.
The Mega Bayne? What are they called?
Mega. They have a different name, don't they? It was Mega Bad with the
before.
This is just like the Mega, right?
Oh, all right. Oh no. Okay. I'm not going against the Babes of Wrath. I'm a fan of theirs. They shouldn't lose to a team unless that team has a much better tag team name. And according to Wikipedia, they're just Mega Bayne and Lena Cross. The Babes of Wrath win and retain. It looks like they have 2 matches here, right? Am I bugging?
No,
it looks like there's a TBS match.
Willow's defending on the pre-show, the 0 hour show against Lena Cross.
Okay,
it's kind of is she gonna go 2 for 2 and
Mega Cross is what they're calling them. Although I don't really love that.
It doesn't give Babes of Wrath to me, bro. I'm going with the Babes of Wrath. Honestly, that's the wild thing about giving every women's tag team a cutesy name.
Mm-hmm.
The only teams that should win is a name that is cutesier than the Babes of Wrath. Like, until you find something better than that, there's no reason to take the titles off of them too. So yeah, I think the Babes of Wrath retain. The
how about like Megalopolis? Can we, since they're both giants, can we call them that?
I'm sure you could.
I think that Megan Bayne and Lena Cross are going to win. That's my official pick. Trios match. This might be the one I'm most excited about. Low key, Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, and Roddy Strong, who has the greatest hot tag or run. I'm not even exaggerating. The greatest hot tag and or run in the whole business. When he shocked the world, fake, by joining up, by turning his back on the dogs and joining forces with Darby and Orange, the next 45 seconds were the best thing I've ever seen in wrestling. And it's every time with Roddy Strong. Give him the hot tag. He comes in, he throws some knees that, like, dude, Roddy Strong could knee, Wimby in the jaw. He springs off the ground. He is fucking ridiculous. And everything is like 900% energy. I mean, it's so crazy. But anyway, I've said before, I love Darby and Orange together way, 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 way more than the sum of the parts. But that said, the dogs just debuted. They're doing this, the low-key invasion angle or whatever. I like everybody involved in that team. I think it's a really cool trio. I think the Dogs is probably a terrible name. The War Dogs was good, but just sort of, it wasn't because they were the War Dogs. It was because it just had a weirdly sticky sound to it. The Dogs on its own just sounds dumb.
The Dogs.
And I don't think the War Dogs are not that famous to like, we just got to do a play off of their established name. Like, no, give them a
name. They don't want to squeeze any more juice out of the Bullet Club name, right? Like, it's kind of
they can. That's why they're the Dogs and not the War Dogs. I think they're done, borrowing copyrights. They don't want to share. They don't want to share that PWT money.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah. So anyway, I think the Dogs have to win. I mean, they're the new team, and whatever's going on here could be furthered by a heel win. Do you agree or disagree, Kaz?
Yeah, I think you got to give the Dogs the win. You know what I mean? A haphazardly thrown together team next to a team that you're trying to establish as, like, some serious threats. Yeah, I think you got to go and give them the Dubski.
The Dubski.
The Dubski.
All right, that's it for our Revolution picks. Before we say goodbye, as promised, here are 6 delectable minutes with MJF, AEW World Champion, and probably will still be saying as AEW Champion next week.
Ben Cruz, Ringer Wrestling Show with the AEW World Champion, MJF. How you doing?
Better than you. I'm sleepy, but better than you.
That is, I'm also sleepy, but you're probably less sleepy than me. So they're vis-a-vis better than me. First Texas death match on Sunday.
Yeah, not happy about it.
I didn't think you would be, but you've been in a shit ton of violent matches.
That's fair.
How is the mental prep this time around going into Sunday against Hangman Adam Page?
Honestly, I have 2 lights at the end of the tunnel. Normally for a professional wrestling match where I'm defending the grandest prize of them all, the belt that every real professional wrestler wants, the AEW World title, the Triple B. The light at the end of the tunnel is me maintaining and retaining this championship. But this match has 2 lights. You see, if I beat Hangman Adam Page, he can never hold the AEW World Championship ever again. He can never try to win it ever again. He will never be on the top of the card ever again. I get to make the Cowboy a permanent mid-carder, which quite frankly, he should have been in the first place. So I'm over the goddamn moon. If that means I have to get fucking housed with glass and tacks and blood and his gross, weird chest hair, then so be it. I'm going to do whatever it takes to win because, again, this means everything to me, but I'm not even going to lie. The idea of him never being able to be champion again actually makes me as giddy as retaining this belt.
So that's the carrot that's getting you through.
Oh, my God. Yeah. It's my pride and joy, pretty much.
What about the physical aspect? Because you're about to go through some shit physically.
Yeah.
How are you physically preparing for all that? Because, again, you mentioned some of the things that you may be going through.
Yes.
How have you prepped your body for that?
So, look, I've never been in a death match before in my entire professional wrestling career. Hangman's been in several because he's indie trash. So this is all new for me, and I'm fully aware of that, right? Fully aware of that. But if there's one edge I have over him is that I'm a better professional wrestler. And my goal in this match is going to be to use my technical grappling ability to be able to veer him away from being able to grab his weapons, essentially. I'm going to try to make this a professional wrestling match.
Give me one example of how you're going to lure him into that, away from the weapons.
Sure.
Like what's you don't have to give away your game plan. I'm not asking you to do that, but
my answer is that you can't hit what you can't touch. There you go.
Speed. I like it.
I'm a fast guy.
Okay.
Fast talker. Fast in the ring.
And we'll leave it at that.
Fast in the bedroom.
I was trying to cut that one off, but
Take my time.
Okay. Short. Speaking of your family, what a weird transition that was, but it was.
How do you talk about having sex with my wife?
No, I don't. I really prefer you not to.
Because I can talk about it.
I know you. Okay. Yep. How do you explain to your wife, who you just brought up, in the most comfortable way possible? Yeah. How do you bring up, or how do you explain to her that you're going into a Texas death match? How do you explain to her, your family, your friends?
I'm fortunate because Alicia too grew up in the industry. She's been a part of the professional wrestling world since she was pretty much 14, 15 years old. She's seen it all. Is she happy about it? No. Does she want daddy's moneymaker to be messed up? Absolutely not. Does she want, the maximum ride to be hurt? No. There's a lot of things at play here. But at the end of the day, she knows this is my job. She knows this is the gig. She knows that if I want to hold on to the prize that everybody around the world wants, I'm going to have to put myself in harm's way every now and then to get that glory and to build up that legacy.
So she's ready for it, but I have it on pretty good authority that some of your Happy Gilmore 2 co-stars are going to be in attendance on Sunday. Yep. Have you prepared them? Because I don't think that they're ready for what they're about to see you go through.
I've not prepared them, and I think that's going to be fun. The idea of me looking the audience and seeing Sonny just terrified and probably crying is very interesting to me. I tried to explain to them, it's like, hey, it's a death match. They probably don't know what that means. Sure. So Connor and Ethan and Sonny, This is my apology formally to you before you watch the match.
Right to the camera. I'll get you out of here on this. I just wanted to pitch you an idea for Sunday because how big of an NBA fan are you?
I'm not the biggest basketball fan. I find that the only sport that matters is professional wrestling, and every other sport is fixed and fake. So I'm just not interested in fake bullshit sports.
Well, I like how you brought that up because last night, Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat, he scored
what, 83 points?
83 points.
83 points. Now, I would just, again, not a basketball guy. How many times was Kobe fouled when he scored 81 points?
It was so Bam set the record last night for the amount of free throws.
Yeah.
So Kobe didn't come close to that.
Yeah. So wouldn't you say Kobe scoring 81 points with way less free throws was a lot more difficult than Bam scoring 86, you said? With 83 with how many free throws was it?
It was like 42, something like that.
I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist here. Sure. All I'm saying is I think Mamba still reigns supreme when you look at it from a difficulty standpoint.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
You should watch the last 3 minutes of that. It got real dicey and a little fake, as you mentioned. Yeah. But my idea was, and you may not like this now that you've kind of put Mamba over, but I was thinking you should wear a Bam Adebayo jersey to LA on Sunday just to see what kind of reaction you get. I'm not saying you have to. It was just an idea I thought of on the way over.
The only Bam that I acknowledge is Margera, and that's it. There's no other Bams.
That's fair. MJF, thanks for coming on the Ringer Wrestling Show. Appreciate it as always.
Yeah, this was absolutely fucking miserable. Tell your boss I hate him.
I will.
Thank you to MJF, just the most lovable guy in the history of pro wrestling. I want to give him a hug every time I think of his name. And
gotta love Max.
To our EP, Ben Cruz. Before we get out of here, I want to look at these meet and greet prices. Did you see this thing that was posted? I guess these are stub up. These are resell prices because they're odd numbers.
I didn't see the prices. I did see who has sold out already, though.
So Dom Mysterio has sold out. Liv Morgan has sold out. I just want to.
Siobhan Evans and Trick Williams sold out.
How much do you? Oh yeah, how much do you think that it costs to have the Stone Cold Steve Austin photo op? This is a great
gosh.
This is like a what's it called? When you pay money to cut you a video. What's
Cameo.
the app? Yeah, this is like basically Cameo. Like, what do you think these people are worth? What do you think a Stone Cold Steve Austin photo op costs at WrestleMania?
Photo op. Oh man,
don't look it up.
$300.
Brian, do you know the answer? Did you see these?
I didn't see it. I'm gonna say 301.
Well, you
win.
You
jerk.
Win. No, that's a good one.
Yo, you're that guy on The Price is Right? You're that guy?
That's smart.
Oh my god.
I hated that guy.
That's smart. That's game theory. Like, why on earth would you do anything else? You guys are crazy.
I hated that guy.
Stone Cold Steve Austin photo op is $559.
Damn.
Now, knowing that the Stone Cold Steve Austin's photo op is $559, how much do you think Stephanie McMahon's photo op is?
$450.
$682.
Golly.
What number? Like what?
This is on StubHub or something where I think they might be a little bit inflated. Oh yeah, they're definitely inflated. These are just StubHub prices, but I just want to let you know what these are going for. Now,
man,
there's a lot of them that are just going for $198 or less. Penta's only $198. Kane, shockingly, is $132. There's a bunch in the $250, like $150 to $250 range. There's a couple more that are up there. Jade Cargill, you want to guess the amount?
I'm gonna go back to 400.
Nope, $263 for Jade.
Wow. Okay.
Chelsea Green,
$250.
$447 on StubHub or wherever the fuck this is. And then the last one is Drew McIntyre. I'll just tell you, $329. I got it. That's a shit ton of money, man. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that you would pay for some of them, but there's some of them are free if you waited in line. Like, I know they're gonna. This is the one case where I'm not mad at WWE for squeezing every penny out of it, because I've been to, I've been to this event so many times that the signings are not like necessary for the weekend. It's to me, it's just as cool to walk by and say like, holy shit, there's Ricky Saint standing right there. You know, you don't need to be like, I don't need to wait in line for an hour and even pay $80 for somebody's autograph. Although I do live a different existence, getting to talk to people, do interviews and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But if you're gonna milk every penny out of every fan at something, this is exactly, the market tells you this is exactly where you need to be milking people.
Oh yeah. God
if
bless
you're willing,
if you
whatever you're willing to pay to stand next to your favorite wrestler for literally 15 seconds and get a little dap up and picture taken. I mean, listen, they're all sold out. You know, I mean, they're all going to sell out. There's one ticket left, and I mean, it's.
Hey, people save all year round for these opportunities. So whatever people are willing to pay for it, that's what you charge.
Here's the question: how much could we?
Tax.
If you pay $500 for some of these people, well, I guess you know the big Stone Cold and Stephanie are not exactly doing much other stuff. But if you pay $250 to $400 for all these big names, how much could we charge for like two very special fans to sit with us while we do our interviews and we pretend that they're PAs?
Yo, I think we could float that in the Only Grabs chat, and I promise you,
I feel like those dudes in the chat are my friends now. I'm not gonna like demand money from those guys.
That is true. Do you
think we could get somebody to pay like $1,000 just to no, not pretend? This is what we should do. We should auction off actually you're our PA, or like you're the guy that's taking pictures while we do interviews. We should Brian, you tell me how many assistants you need. We will auction it off. Because now we found out we can make $1 million doing it.
This is true.
All the wrestlers come in and it's just like shoulder to shoulder nerds that I'm just like, all right, this is our PA Jeff. Right over there is our sound designer Juan. Whatever. It's just guy. We have like 100 different jobs. This is our sketch artist Kate. She's just going to be drawing illustrations like she's in a courtroom of all of the interviews that we do. Like it'll be sick. We'll find jobs for everybody. Anyway, save up your money, nerds. There's a lot of autographs to be had. A lot of photos to be taken. We should just set up a booth at WrestleCon where we just have wrestling impersonators that are willing to take their picture with you. Anyway, too many funny ideas. All right, man, we've been doing this too long. Let's get out of here. Kaz, you want to get your plugs in?
Yeah, you know what it is, man. Every Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m., you can listen to me on Mornings with Mero on Hot 97. Brand new episode of 7 p.m. in Brooklyn is out right now with Shakur Stevenson and myself, Carmelo Anthony. This Monday, we have a brand new episode with movie star, TV star, Aldous Hodge. Great conversation with him.
I love Aldous Hodge. What show is he on? What's that? I've been watching him on Amazon.
Cross, I want to say on Amazon.
I started watching that randomly. It's great, man. He's so good.
He's really good. He's really good. And he was a great talk too. So definitely check that out when you get a chance.
Also, Aldous Hodge, is he from NXT? Because that is one hell of a fake name, man. I don't know.
It definitely does. And yeah, I think I'll leave this little note. Oh yeah, patreon.com/onlygrabs. If you want to hang out with us during any show, I'll be on there during Revolution, all 95 hours of it, so we can chat through it as long as you want. Just hit the Mercedes special, $9.99, and we'll be in there. Myself is in there.
We'll hit
Dave
SmackDown
is in there
tonight probably too. So yeah,
we'll hit SmackDown tonight. B Waters is in there. Ben is in there, and I'll leave you with this, folks coming to Vegas, WrestleMania weekend. Stay the whole weekend. I'll leave it at that.
Stay through to Raw.
Stay through the weekend.
Do the proper. Okay, got it.
Do the proper WrestleMania. If you're going to Vegas, do the entire weekend. I will have some things to talk about very soon.
You heard it here first. Kaz is debuting on the Raw after WrestleMania, guys. Anyway, thanks to our producer, Brian H. Waters. Brian, we love you. Thanks again to our EP, Ben Cruz. Good interviewing skills, by the way. Thank you all for listening. Finn Balor's going to be okay. Boo your mama. We'll see you back here next week, humanoids.
Peace.